Yeah, it's me. I have like so whenever it gets like nice out, sort of like if the weather changes, I get like allergy like, and I look like Rudolph because I've had like these like allergic allergic to spring or something. I don't know, but you know, Mercury is still in retrograde for like 11 more days, and I don't know how to explain it without, because this is the thing. I feel like people like to be thirsty for attention, and I think that they want to be mentioned in hopes that I'm gonna like sound like paranoid. But you know me, I don't get paranoid. I just kind of say that that's lame, you know. But it just lately people have been extra stalkery, and it's like it's just like I don't know if they want attention or what, but sometimes it just gets where it's like ridiculous. You know what I mean? Just like, and well, we already know I'm like intuitive. You know, Jordan even said like Jordan believes in me. A lot of people believe in me, but you know, um, it just it feels extra stalkery. Like there's this vibe of like note takers almost, like people who just watch and study and want a piece of some sort of like game. And it's annoying, but it's like it's not. So instead of being like, oh my god, get off my dick, get the fuck off my dick. You know what I'm saying? But instead of being like, get off my dick, it's just like, I don't want to. My father, Jerry Staples, he used to say it best. Like, I'd be like, Dad, I miss you. He'd be like, well, I'm like, don't you miss me, Dad? And he'd be like, you post what you ate for breakfast on Facebook. He's like, whenever I miss you, I just look on your social media and I know that the cat peed on the kitchen floor and this and this and this. And I think that that's what has gone on for years almost. Like, I think that there were people that were like fake friends who watched and knew all along that Miller Honda was doing stuff. It felt like very. And even like the girl that blocked my driveway, like there's the weird people, they like literally pose for pictures and want, like they'll say, put that on, make sure you mention me. So it's like, that's what they want, is to be mentioned. And it's like toddlers when they can't get good attention. Well, it's not even that. It's like they don't want good attention. Like I said before, there's people that have like helped me or brightened my day, and I don't mention them because it's like, you know what I mean? So I don't. But anything. It's just I feel like, and just everything about social media, like it's too they. Nolan said it best, right? He said that he didn't like going to Narcotics Anonymous because all they talk about is what they don't want to do, and it makes them want to do it more. And that's true. When you focus on things in that sense, and you speak certain things, you're like reiterating it. And a lot of social media is like, there somehow my algorithm ended up with like family court is so corrupt, and there, all of this stuff about schmack schmiled schmafficking, I don't know, like, and all this other stuff. And that's all it is like, this is bad and the world is this and this. It's like STFU, Then there's other people who like live in the past, and it that also doesn't help. So there's other like pages of people who are like, um I used to be this. When people like to talk about their, I used to be a junkie. I used to, and they just do excessive like before and after and before and after, and it's just like, like I have like unfollowed like so many just people that just like dwell like every single different page. There's like a gnat. You know what they say about bugs? That it's like a monitoring spirit. But either way, like, so everything is just like, you know, this and this and this. And did you know about this? It's just like, oh my God. You, inside, you make what, you decide what you want to focus on. That's, and I've mentioned that before, even when it came to, DSS making you do things that are like futile, making lists of landlords and lists of things and rejections and stuff like that. It forces you to look at rejections and forces you to, I like to live in the now. I like to live in the now, and I like to feel in the goal. And the Bible is, true when it comes to certain things, which is like, as a man thinketh, so he is, and things like that. My name, I am the I am. You don't get what you want. I don't like using words like I want, I need, I miss, I wish. We don't wish. We just are. And the number one thing that anyone needs to remember is you don't tell me who I am. And, and anyone that tries to tell you who you are, that shows who they are. It shows who they are. And just stick to that, Stick to that every time. I know who I am, Even like after court, when I saw David and Isabel, and I don't have a problem with anybody. People want me to hate them. I don't hate them. I just know the truth, But that was the last thing that I said to David before he got in the car. He's like, oh, they don't want to talk to you. And I was like, come on, you know that I'm a damn good mom. You know I'm a damn good mom. You know that I was a damn good daycare. You know that I'm a damn good mom. You know that I'm a damn good girlfriend. And it doesn't show who I am. It shows who you are and what you, threw away. I'm not thinking, I ain't been with David since 2003, you know what I mean? But still, it's it's true. You're the one that, had a good, all of you had, a good girlfriend, and for nothing. My father, right before he died, he used to call me, he used to, he'd mess up my car purposely. I knew it. He never could fix my car until he got cancer and knew he was dying. Then all of a sudden he was fixing my car. He would make it worse. And I'd be like, I don't want my dad touching my car because he always makes it worse. And he always was telling me that I was stupid and I was this and I was that. And then right before he died, he wasn't calling me stupid anymore. He wasn't calling me hard-headed and you don't know nothing. Instead, he was saying the opposite. He was saying, don't you know that my daughter is smarter than all of you? Don't you know that my daughter deserves a white coat? Don't you know who my daughter is? People surprise you. Actually, they don't surprise you, but and my mother too. That was my nickname, was know-it-all. Sometimes my mother always, as a child, she always called me dummy. Dummy. That was like a nickname. Dummy. Common sense dummy. But at the end, she always would get upset with me and say, "Oh, you think you know everything. You think you know everything." And that's what I told my dad too. Was like, "But I do. As within, so without. Everything I say always comes true. I like, you know." And so, and I, sometimes it's hard to even say things because, um, I think people think that I sit like spitefully wishing for things, and it's just like, no, you're doing it to yourself. I see things, and I wish so badly that Jordan would have like told the truth, because the day that he had that accident, which I was like crying over, but the day that he had that accident, I told him, like, Jordan, somebody's gonna get in an accident. I can feel it. I said, please be careful. Please, I thought for sure. And he didn't. He didn't go, oh, wow, you were right. Instead, he was just like calling me a retard, saying I couldn't drive right and things like that. But I like, there's so much of like, like, I don't know how to explain it any more than I feel like I'm on the Truman Show. And there's no part of me that's like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. It's just, I've got allergies. That's it. I've got allergies. But 12/12. Ooh, see? My nose gets so stuffed. Oh my God. Ugh. Whenever I have a runny nose, right? And no, I'm not on anything. Whenever I have a runny nose, it just reminds me of like being at the shelter, and when everybody was like blowing their nose, and they were like, "You guys went through that much toilet paper. I'm not refilling it," and it's like, it does something to you, to like ever think that you would be grown and being told that you don't deserve more toilet paper. You know what I mean? And it doesn't like it again. It doesn't make me sad. It just makes me see people for who they are. Okay.